So, good day everyone. So, we are again at the chapter 2 of our lead training program, Listen and Learn, Engage and Empower, Adapt and Align, Design and Delegate. And we are still at the chapter 2 of our lead training for technical skills. So once again, I'm your Skills Enablement Trainer. I'm Jesse Garpao, your training officer from HR Department. So just to recap, yung mga na-discuss na natin for our Chapter 2 modules. So we have discussed na the number 1, loss prevention. Second module about inventory management, refresher, and ORW encoding. So medyo mahaba ito. Ayan. And lastly, our last topic for this chapter is proper sales monitoring and reporting. So in terms of proper sales and monitoring and reporting, ito na po yung mga reports and sales reports and monitoring na ginagawa natin sa araw-araw or every end of the day na dapat nating i-submit or dapat nating i-comply or i-update. Okay, so bago tayo mag-proceed dun sa mismong topic discussion, this is our objectives for this module. So number 1 is to help you, our sales team leader and aspiring team leaders, to track your sales progress and measure success accurately. Number 2 is to teach you, our participants, the best methods for collecting, recording, and updating sales data promptly and accurately. And number 3 is to emphasize tools. Ano ba yung mga tools na ginagamit natin and techniques to minimize errors in sales reports to ensure dependable and accessible data. Okay, so these are our table of contents. Ito yung mga topics and ito yung mga reports na ginagawa natin every end of the day. So number 1 is SMS reporting. Number 2 is yung sales book natin. And number 3 is our BIR columnar book. So hopefully mabilis lang yung discussions natin kasi somewhat or somehow this is just a refresher lang naman dun sa iba kasi ginagawa na natin to every day. Okay? Okay, so let's start with SMS reporting. So, SMS reporting, ito yung process natin every end of the day para mag-send or magbato ng sales report sa ating system. Okay? Ayan. So, kailangan po natin ito or need po natin ito para malaman po namin dito sa head office kung magkano na po yung running sales po ng ating branch or ng ating store. Okay. So pagdating sa SMS reporting, kailangan natin itong i-send before leaving the store at night, bago tayo umalis ng store or bago tayo umuwi, the daily sales report to the server, yung server ng ating dito sa HO, after completing the final cash count and end of day sales natin. So kailangan lahat kumpleto na cash count summary and all, nakatara na yung mga sales natin per channels, kung credit card ba yan, kung cash sales ba yan, per person as well or per staff, per TL. Ayan. So, dapat naka-differentiate na yan para mabilis na lang yung pag-send natin sa SMS. Okay. Tapos, for sending SMS, meron tayong 3 template na kailangang i-send every day. So, ano-ano itong mga templates na to? So, let's start with our template A. Yung template A po natin is more on details of total cash and total sales and cash. So, as you can see, medyo magulo lang siya tingnan. Pero isa-isahin po natin yan para mas maintindihan natin siya. Ito na yung pinaka-format. Ayan. So, kailangan lang natin intindihin kung ano yung mga nakalagay dito sa format na to. Okay. Para mag-send ng template A, we'll start with add A. Ayan. Yung add A natin. Yan. It means na it's for template A. Tapos slash mo siya and then ayan, yung B code dyan is, stands for our branch code in ORW. So, kailangan alam na natin yan from now pa lang kasi nag-i-encode na din tayo sa ating ORW. Diba? Yung sales natin, inventory natin, ini-encode natin sa ORW. Kaya dapat alam na natin yung ating branch code or yung B code. So, B code, then followed by yung 01-00032. So, ito yung kanyang branch code sa ORW. Then, slash. Next is yung dot. Ano ba yung dot? Dot is the date of sales. So, date of sales, in this case, yung format ng date of sales natin is ganito dapat. Month, slash day, tapos slash year. So in this case, yung date niya dito is June 17, 2023. So ang gagawin mo, .06-17-2023. So ganun lang po. Then slash ulit, then proceed ka sa T-sales. T-sales is your total sales for that day. Lagay mo lang siya. Like for example, this one, T-sales 38,636. Ibig sabihin, yung total sales niya for the day is 38,636. Ito na lang po papalitan natin. Yung format, wag na po. Ito lang po mga numbers. Next is OVR or yung cash overage. Kung may over ka for that day, i-declare mo din siya OVR, then followed by the actual overage mo or cash overage. Then slash ulit. Then followed by SHR. Ano ba yung SHR? Ito naman yung shortage mo. Cash shortage mo for the day. Then kung wala naman, lagay mo lang na 0. Okay. Then slash Tcash. Ano naman yung Tcash? Tcash is yung total cash remaining at the end of the day for the sales. Total cash ha, cash remaining. Ibig sabihin, bawas na po dito yung dineposit natin, basta yung cash natin na remaining. So, hindi nakasama dito syempre yung ating petty cash, tsaka yung cash fund. Basta total cash natin na remaining at the end of the day for the sales. Okay? So, Tcash, like for example, this one, Tcash 2732. So, ibig sabihin, ang remaining cash niya on hand is 20,732. Next is C-card. Ano ba yung C-card? C-card naman is for credit card transaction. Ayan. 362.75. That's their credit card transaction. Then slash followed by D-card. D-card naman means your debit card transaction. So, in this case, ang debit card transaction niya is 578.75. Followed by slash GCash. So, GCash is your GCash transactions. In this case, my GCash transaction siya worth total of 855 pesos. Okay. Next, kung may AUB transactions ka, but if none, lagay mo lang 0. Next is yung GRWRD or yung stands for Grab Rewards Redeem at the Store. So, kung may mga Grab Rewards po kayong na-redeem sa store, lagay nyo lang po dyan kung magkano. It's 300, 400, 200, or how much will it be. Pero kung wala, then just put 0. Next is slash ulit, S-treats. So, ano naman yung S-treats? Siyempre, that's for share trades transaction. So, if meron, lagay nyo lang po yung amount. If none, just put 0 again. Okay. Then slash yung PDE-PO. Ano naman yung PDE-PO or PDEPO? PDEPO. Yan. This is the amount of partial deposit naman performed on that day. So, di ba, iba yung total cash natin remaining for the day, yung cash on hand mo. Syempre, meron kang mga partial deposit for that particular day. Dapat may attachment yan, di ba? Yung ating deposit slip. So, lagay mo dyan kung magkano yung total mo na partial deposit na perform mo or na pa-deposit mo within the day or for that day sales. Okay? So, in this case, may na partial deposit siya na 15,000. Okay. Ayan. And then, next is last but not the least is yung COH. Ano naman yung COH? Ito na yung cash on hand remaining natin at the store. Kailangan same ito with yung Tcash natin. So, halos same lang yan siya or value with the Tcash. Okay? So, yun lang. Yun yung template A natin. So, napakasimple lang. Magulo lang siya tingnan. Actually, papalitan mo lang pag may template ka na, papalitan mo na lang yung mga numbers and yung dates. Okay? So, proceed na tayo now sa template natin B. Ayan. Ang template B naman natin focuses more on the details of sales per staff. Okay. So, ganun pa din. Add B na tayo. Ibig sabihin, this is for template B. Then, next is the B code. Ayan. Next is the dot or the date. Okay. And then, dito na papasok si G-Food. G-Food is for Grab Food transaction. So, magkano ba lahat yung benta mo through Grab Food? Ayan. So, next is Team L. Ayan. Ano naman yung Team L? So, dito naman papasok kung magkano yung total sales ng ating team leader. So, kung naging team leader na kayo, dito siya papasok sa Team L. So, kung wala kayong team leader pa for now, or nagtitraining pa lang tayo to become a team leader, so 0 muna yan. Kasi we are still considered as staff pa naman. Okay? Ayan. So, total sales of the team leader yung Team L. Tapos, followed na lang nung amount kung magkano. Next is for STFFA. So, FA. So, that's the total sales of the first staff. Ayan. So, katulad nito, yung STFFA niya is 20,921. So, yun yung total sales ng first staff. Then, next is yung STFFB. yan naman yung total sales ng second staff. So in this case, meron siyang total sales ng 17,715. Tapos, staff C naman, STFFC, kung meron pa kayong pangatlong staff, ayan, dito mo siya ilalagay. Ayan. May mali lang dito kasi wala siyang nilagay na 0. Dapat dito po, followed by 0 kung wala mang benta yung staff C natin. Next is staff D or yung STFFD followed by D, total sales ng staff D. Kung wala namang staff D, kasi usually sa isang store, isang TL tapos dalawang staff or isang TL, isang staff. Yun yung minimum natin, 'di ba? So kung walang kung walang staff B, C, and D, lagyan lang po natin ng 0. Okay. Then, next is others. Ayan. Yung others, dito natin ilalagay yung pangalan po ng tao na nag-send ng sales report. So, it's either your TL or your staff. Siya po yung ilalagay natin dyan. Others, then followed by the name of the person who sends the report. Okay. Next is T count or yung transaction count of the total sales. So, later on, discuss natin saan ba natin nakukuha yung transaction count or bilang ng transactions mo per day. In this case, this is 89 transactions for that particular day. Okay. Next is eGift. eGift is for eGift transactions. And PM Scan is for PayMaya or QR scan transactions. Ayan. And then, next is OnCAS or ONCAS is for CCPH or sales natin through online or our website with cash transaction or who paid through cash. Then yung on CRE naman means for our CCPH or online sales transactions, our website, who paid ng cashless payment like bank to bank, GCash or any payment which is cashless siya. Okay, so dyan sa papasok. So mas maikli po ito, kailangan lang nating tandaan yung mga tawag nito, yung mga codes, di ba? Kung ano yung format and followed by yung numbers. Okay? So lagi lang nating tandaan sa pagsisend natin ng template B, if meron lang tayong isang staff lang on duty at the store other than the team leader, please enter 0 po doon sa sales amount for staff members B. Ito, ayan. Lagyan lang natin siya ng 0 sa C and sa D kung isa lang po yung naka-duty aside from the team leader. Okay? So to determine the transaction count, so ito, this one, yung ating T count, ayan, saan natin to makukuha. Kung naka-POS tayo, mache-check natin to doon sa ating X-reading. Pag nag-X-reading na tayo, nakalagay doon yung total transaction count. Okay? For manual naman, kung mga naka-manual CSI, wala pa tayong POS, bibilangin po natin, manually count po natin yung number of customers or number of CSI na nagamit po natin. Okay? Now, proceeding to our template C. Ito naman yung details for the online sales transaction. So, ito siya. Halos same lang siya ng i-click ng template B natin. So, ganun pa din. Lagay lang natin muna add C. Ibig sabihin, it means this is for template C. Ayan. Then slash. Siyempre, yung B code natin or branch code. Next is yung date or yung date of your sales. Next is Panda or Food Panda transactions. Lagay mo lang dyan, followed by the amount kung magkano yung Food Panda transactions mo. Next is Pika or Picaro transactions kung magkano lahat ng Picaro transactions. Next is Gmart or GrabMart transactions. So, ilagay lang natin dyan yung amount ng GrabMart transactions mo. Next is SPay or yung Shopee Pay natin na transactions. SM Online, SMONL or for SM Online transactions. Next is Metro M for Metro Mart transactions. Ayan, so lahat to halos mga online sales channels natin. Gift away or yung for giveaway transactions naman natin. Ayan. Coupon or COUPN for gift check from Candy Corner. So, baka ano nyo po, nagbibigay po tayo ng gift certificate dito sa Candy Corner. We need to validate lang that one. Pwede natin isend sa ating supervisor para sila na din ang mag-validate dito sa ating accounting and treasury department. Bago po natin siya i-credit, di ba? Ayan. Next is M-Place or MPLCE. This is the marketplace transactions. During the pandemic, ito medyo madami. Ngayon, wala naman na masyado. Okay, next is BDO Pay for BDO Pay transactions. And last is G-Life or yung rush natin na transactions. Okay. Okay, so once po na okay na lahat ng template, na include na natin yung mga necessary na details for the sales report, send na natin to sa ating server. Ito po yung mobile number 0919-0734-542. Ulitin ko, 0919-0734-542. So dyan po natin siya isi-send. Okay, so kapag yung details natin na sinend are correct, may marireceive po tayo na reply from our server na data received to confirm the successful transmission of data. So ganito po yung itsura niya. Okay? So ganyan po dapat marireceive natin. So it means successful, tama, at accurate yung mga numbers na binigay natin based doon sa template. Okay. Next is kapag meron naman pong mali doon sa sinend natin, possible siguro yung mga spacing, yung data, yung numbers mismo, or yung format, mali yung format na binigay natin, may marireceive po tayo na ganito. X, tapos staff C value. So, yung staff C value, dito natin makikita kung ano yung mali nung sinend natin. So, for example, this one. Ayan. So, X Gcash value. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin yung Gcash value natin yung may problem. Ayan. So, dapat i-review natin kung tama ba or tugma ba siya. Okay? Or, meron din ganito, minsan, date already exists. So, check natin yung date natin, yung sa dot, kung baka nadoble na natin yung date nung from previous days, ito yung nagamit natin dito. Okay? Ayan. So, mabilis lang naman siya. At nakikita natin agad kung tama or mali. Ayan. And, na-check natin kung saan doon yung mali, saan yung dapat nating i-edit. Okay? So, kapag hindi po tayo naka-receive ng reply, it could mean there's an issue with the template. So, mali yung template natin. Possible, madami masyadong characters, nasobrahan ka na sa characters, or spacing, yan, spaces mo in the text message. Or, possible din, yung internet connection natin sa head office is down, resulting in no response. So, if ever man kung ang may problem is the head office na connection, hindi natin na-receive, or walang internet connection, mag-aabiso naman po sa inyo si ROM natin or Retail Operations Manager or your supervisors to resend the sales kasi nag-down nga yung internet connection. Okay? Ayan. So ito po yung mga actual sample. So pasensya na kayo kasi naka-italize or italic yung kanilang font. But basically, ganito naman po siya. Ayan, kung mapapansin niyo, nag-send siya ng add A and add C. Tapos, data received naman lahat. So, meaning to say, correct lahat nung data na binigay niya. Then, last niya nang sinend kasi pwede naman yan kahit anong wala namang proper sequence yan. So, it depends on you. Basta lahat ng template, add A, add B, and add C, na-send mo siya within the before end of the day. Ayan. So, yung add B naman, yan, data received. So, ibig sabihin correct yung na-send niya. Okay. So, in this case, ayan, yung Gcash nga, may nag-reply na X Gcash value. So, mali yung Gcash value. So, you need to review. Next is, ayan, date already exists. So, possible na yung date na binigay niya dito ay nag-exist na. Ayan. So, baka mali yung date na binigay mo dyan. Okay. Ano pa ba? Ito. Ayan. So, mga examples na rin po ito. Okay, so done na tayo with our SMS reporting. Now, proceed naman tayo with our sales book or yung quota monitoring natin. For our sales book, nilalagay po natin to sa record book natin. So, talagang manually sinusulat po natin ito. Kasi para at least doon, naka-bind siya. So, hindi siya mawawala, 'di ba? Kasi nasa isang record book lang siya. So, mabilis din siyang hanapin. Kasi per day naman yung monitoring natin sa sales book natin. Okay. Ayan. So, ginagawa din natin to every night after po natin makapag-final cash count or end of the day sales. So, same also with the SMS reporting. Minsan pa, inuuna natin tong sales book kasi andito na din yung data na makukuha din natin para pag nag-send tayo ng SMS reports. Okay? So, update natin tong sales book natin or quota monitoring book daily talaga. Okay? So, it also helps us to track our store performance, kung kumusta na ba tayo in terms of sales, nasaan na ba tayo pagdating sa quota, ayan, compared to our sales target and the previous year's sales natin. It also send this update to, you can also send this update to your AS or JAS for their review, para at least updated din sila kung magkano na ba yung sales niyo for the day. Okay, so this format here, ginawa ko siya sa Excel, but you can use this one, i-copy nyo na lang doon sa inyong record book. Take note ha, sa record book po tayo gagawa, doon po natin siya isusulat, hindi po tayo magpiprint ng bond paper at doon po natin ilalagay. Kasi sa record book, at least secure yung data, secure siya, hindi siya mawawala. Okay, so this one is your guide, will serve as your guide only. So, mapapansin niyo dito sa pinakataas na bahagi, ayan, ilalagay mo lang dito yung month and year, and then andito yung mga target quota natin. So sa target quota, naka-identify yan yung monthly quota natin, yan, which is given by our retail operations manager, si Miss Amy, and our supervisors. And then next is our weekly quota. Ayan. Ito naman yan. Divide mo lang to into 4. Yan na yung weekly quota mo. Sa daily naman quota, divide mo lang yung monthly mo sa number of days for that particular month. So, it's either 30 or 31 or 28. So, it depends. So, ito yung magiging basis mo. Ito yung hahabulin mo ngayon per day. Ayan. Okay. Next is, dito na tayo magpo-proceed sa first 4 column. Ayan. So, sa first 4 column, dito natin nilalagay yung date, ayan. So, January 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yan, and so on and so forth. Okay. Next is the day. Kung anong araw yan siya. Monday ba yan? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Okay. Next is, ayan. Oo nga pala, kaya natin nilalagay yung day natin para ma-identify din natin kung ano yung mga strong and weak sales days natin. So, in this case, tingnan nyo. Yung Saturday, Sunday niya, halos dumoble. Compared dun sa, ang pinaka-weak niya na days are Wednesday and Thursday, di ba? Pero pagdating ng Friday, taas na naman na ulit ang benta. Come Saturday, dumoble, and Sunday. Okay? So, next is our cash sales. Sa cash sales, dito po natin ilalagay yung total cash collected po natin throughout the day. So, ito yung cash on hand po natin, ha? So, total cash collected po natin during the day. Okay? And then, next is our credit sales. Dito naman papasok yung mga non-cash sales collected natin throughout the day. Sa mga naka-POS, kung mapapansin niyo, naka-ledger kasi yan dun sa X-Reading sa pinakababa, di ba? Credit, cash sales, yung cash transactions, credit sales, dito pumapasok yung ating mga non-cash transactions like GCash, credit card, debit card, Foodpanda, mga online sales channel, Grab, ShopeePay. Pero kung gusto niyo, pwede naman kayong mag-add kasi para at least dito pa lang isang tinginan nyo na lang, andito na lahat ng data kapag nagsisend tayo ng SMS report. Or, kung masyadong mahaba, i-separate nyo na lang yun, or ibig sabihin, tawag nito, himay-himayin na lang po natin itong credit sales natin sa panibagong record book para mas detalyado siya. And para hindi natin masyadong humaba yung ating, baka hindi na siya magkasya sa ating record book. So, importante lang nakaseparate yung cash sales, credit sales, and yung last is yung coupon or yung GC. Okay? Klaro? Okay. Next is proceed na tayo dito sa pang 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th natin na column. Okay. Okay, ano-ano naman ito? So, next is yung coupon or GC. Ito yung mga gift certificate or e-gift, online gift certificate payments na na-receive po natin. Okay. Ayan, hindi naman to masyado. Hindi naman siya madalas. Next is our actual sales. Baka malito kayo, cash sales is our cash on hand. Yung pera na na-receive talaga natin. Okay? Pagdating sa actual sales, ito yung actual na benta natin based sa ating CSI computations. Pag tinara natin, pag kinumpute natin yung CSI or based doon sa ating POS X-Reading. So makikita natin yung total total sales natin or yung tinatawag natin na actual sales. So dapat magbangga ito ngayon. Cash sales or actual sales minus cash sales. Okay. Kapag for example, mataas ang actual sales mo, mababa ngayon yung cash sales mo, including ngayon yung credit and GC transactions. Ayan, i-add mo kasi ito itong cash sales, credit sales, and coupon or GC na transaction, ibabangga mo yung total nito dito sa actual sales mo. Dito mo ngayon makukuha yung over or short. Ayan. So, kung may overage ka ba or may shortage ka ba. Okay? Yan. So, dito mo siya i-indicate naman sa over or short na column. So, you will input here or encode here your collected sales. Kung nag-exceed siya, lalagay mo siya sa dito mo siya ilalagay. Kung ito yung strategy natin, kung over siya, yan, wala siyang negative ha, pero kung short, lalagyan po natin siya ng negative. Ayan, para at least malaman natin, ay, nag-short siya ng 50 cents lang naman. Ayan. So, sa OR, number naman, dito natin ilalagay yung first and last numbers ng ating official receipt or yung ating CSI kung naka-manual tayo, or pwede din natin i-check yung sa ating POS. Ayan. Transaction count is yung bilang ng transactions mo, bilang ng CSI, bilang ng transactions sa POS. Makikita naman natin yan, available naman ngayon. Dito yan sa TC. Ayan. Next is yung ASC or average sales per customer. So, ibig sabihin yan, yung actual sales natin, divide natin yan sa transaction count para makuha natin yung ASC natin. Okay? Take note ha, ulitin ko. Yung actual sales, divide po natin sa transaction count natin. Dito natin makukuha kung magkano yung average sales per customer. Okay. Next is itong last 5 natin na column. So number one, first for this last 5 is yung MTD or yung month to date sales natin. Ito yung cumulative sales natin from the start of the month until today. So simply add daily sales lang. So tingnan nyo, 6,000 tapos next natin na sales is 6,000 plus actual sales mo of the following day is ito, MTD tayo, di ba? So, 12,000, yan. Tapos, yung sales mo nung 2 is 6,000. So, 12,000 plus 6,000, that's 19,183. Ganun lang po. Ang ina-add lang po niyan is yung sales mo from first day, accumulative, hanggang dun sa date na yun. Ayan. So, for example, this one, 26,094.20. In-add niya yung from 1, 2, and 3. 12,000, 6,000, plus 6,000. So, that's 26,000. Yun yung MTD mo for 2023. Okay. Next, kailangan, ibabangga natin yan. May record ka nung daily sales mo din. Ayan. Para alam mo ngayon kung meron ka bang achievement or meron ka bang growth over last year. Ayan. Ito yung sa GOLY natin. Ayan. So, paano mo siya gagawin? So, kailangan meron kang daily sales ng from last year. Dito siya sa previous year sales ito. For example, kung 2023 ngayon, ilalagay mo dyan 2022 sales. So, mako-compare mo. For example, this one. Sa January 1 this year, 12,863.95. January 1 last year, that's 6,003.25. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung GOLY niya or growth over last year is 214 kasi dumoble nga naman, 'di ba? 214%. Okay? Yan. Siyempre, kailangan din natin kunin or alamin or dapat may data din tayo ng MTD natin or kukunin natin to sa ating mga supervisors kung bago tayo. Siyempre, kung hindi tayo bago, i-check natin dun sa mga sales book natin. Yun yung kahalagahan na dapat may record kasi may may reference tayo. Mag-check pa natin yung previous natin na year. So, yung MTD last year naman natin, this one, MTD 2022. Ito naman yung MTD natin for last year. Ayan, month to date natin for last year. Ayan. Okay? Ayan. And then, sa percentage agreement, dito natin nakakalculate yung percentage of achieved sales compared to the target quota. Ayan. So, yan. Nakikita na natin siya kung magkano na ba yung na-achieve natin. So, kung ito na tayo, actual sales natin is 12,000 12,863.95. So, ayan. Ito lang naman is same lang din naman to. Ayan, 22. Ayan. So, ito parang in-add niya lang, di ba? Yung sa MTD natin, in-add niya lang. Yan, 6,000 muna. Tapos 6,000 plus 5,000, that's your MTD for 2022. So, makikita mo naman to from preview. So, i-compare niya ngayon yan. Yung last year mo, kung anong na yung achievement mo versus your quota. So, ang formula niyan is your sales today. For example, yung MTD today, 12,000 263.95, divide mo siya sa 280 1,966.44. So, that's 4.5% achievement na versus your quota. So, tataas ng tataas yan hanggang sa matapos yung 1. Okay, so at least alam mo na kung ilang percentage ka na versus your quota. Okay, so ulitin ko, yung growth over last year, it compares this month's sales to the same month last year. So, to calculate, yung current MTD natin, MTD 2023, divide mo siya sa last year's MTD. Ayan. So, dito mo makukuha yung GOLY mo or growth over last year natin. Okay? So now that we're done now with our SMS reporting, tapos yung sales book natin na updating, proceed na tayo sa ating BIR columnar book. Ayan. So for our BIR columnar book, so para saan ba ito ginagamit? So ang BIR columnar book po natin is an essential tool that helps businesses in the Philippines. Required po ito ng BIR sa lahat ng businesses sa Philippines to keep accurate financial records, follow tax laws, ayan, kung nakaka-follow ba tayo dun sa mga tax laws natin, and deal with the government when needed. Kapag merong mga BIR visit, di ba, may mga nag-visit sa atin from BIR, at least may maipapakita tayong record sa kanila. So ito yun siya dapat. Okay, so ano ba yung BIR columnar book? This is a special ledger used by business in the Philippines for several important reasons. Number one is for recording of sales. It helps businesses to keep track of their daily sales, noting the date, what they sold, ano ba yung binenta nila, and how much money they earned. Then, following the tax rules. So, it ensures that businesses follow the country's tax rules correctly. By recording sales accurately, it helps companies report their earnings to the government and calculate the right amount of taxes they owe, like VAT and percentage tax. So, mamaya tuturuan ko kayo kung paano kunin itong VAT and percentage tax. So, also, this is used for checking for accuracy. Sabi ko nga, may mga tax authorities tayo or BIR personnel na nag-visit sa store. Ayan, to make sure na you are doing your reports correctly. So, the columnar book acts as a proof showing that what's reported matches what happened. Okay? So next is for calculating taxes. So this book helps businesses figure out how much tax they need to pay based on their recorded sales. So ito makakatulong to, at least ma-identify natin magkano ba yung tax na babayaran natin sa gobyerno based sa ating total sales. Legal and financial records, it serves as an official record for the business, useful and legal and financial purposes such as applying for loans and showing financial history. So may mga tendencies na kailangan natin to, kaya dapat naka-safekeep po ito for legal and financial purposes. Then, pinaka-importante is ginagamit natin po ito for renewal and registration ng ating mga business permit. So, kapag kailangan natin i-update yung ating business information with the government, yung columnar book po ito can be part of the paperwork or attachment natin to confirm that everything po is in order. So, paano ba natin i-update properly yung ating columnar book? So, ganito lamang po siya. So, kung makikita po natin, meron lang po tayong 4 na column or fields na kailangan i-fill out every day. Number 1 is yung invoice numbers, which is makikita natin sa CSI, yung CSI numbers natin, so kung naka-manual, and makikita po natin ito sa POS transactions natin sa X-Reading, okay, kung naka-POS naman po tayo. And then, pagdating natin sa invoice number, proceed tayo dun sa total invoice amount. So, ito yung total amount for this particular invoices or transactions. Dito siya. Ngayon, kukunin din po natin yung taxable 12% and yung VAT output tax po natin. So, ito lang po yung 4. So, ang question is, syempre, given na to, di ba? And given na din ito. Paano po natin kukunin yung taxable 12% and yung VAT output tax natin? Okay. But before that, may mga konting reminders lang tayo sa pag-update ng ating BIR columnar book. Pagkatapos natin i-calculate yung final cash count at the end of the day natin na sales, it's essential to immediately, kailangan po agad-agad nating i-update yung ating BIR columnar book. So, ilan lang naman, 4 na column lang naman po ito. So, mabilis na lamang po ito. Okay? Yung sales natin must not be recorded the next day. Hindi po pwede ha. Kailangan, bago po tayo umuwi, kung sino yung closing, ma-update po natin yung ating BIR columnar book. Because, may possibility na pag merong visit or mag-inspection from BIR or yung mga BIR personnel natin the following day ng super early, dapat may ipapakita po tayo agad sa kanila na updated na yung BIR book natin. Okay. Take note then na failure to update the sales declaration in the BIR columnar book on time can result po in penalties. So it should be done in the evening. So take note of that always. Okay, so this time, recording na tayo ng sales in our columnar book. So paano ba yung proper way of recording our sales sa ating columnar book? Okay, ito yung columnar book natin. Kung mapapansin niyo pre-printed na siya. Meron na siyang date, meron na siyang invoice numbers, taxable 12%, VAT output tax, at saka yung ating total invoice amount or yung total sales natin for the day. So you just have to input na lang or encode na lang yung month mo for that particular year. Okay? So to update our columnar book, you only need to record the date itself. So dito siya, since in this case, meron na siyang recorded, so okay na yan siya. The first and last OR number or CSI number, dito mo siya ilalagay sa invoice number. Saan po natin siya makukuha? For our POS, makukuha po natin yan sa Z-reading natin or X-reading natin. Sa ating manual naman, kung naka-manual tayo, sa ating CSI numbers naman yan. Okay? And then last is yung pinaka-last column natin. Dito natin ilalagay yung total invoice amount or yung total sales natin for the day. Okay, the only challenge na lang or yung only na lang natin na kailangan i-compute is yung taxable 12% and yung VAT output tax. Yan. So, kailangan din kasi natin siyang i-input. Okay, so paano kaya yan siya i-compute? So, that will be discussed sa next na slide. Okay, so sa recording of sales again, so to calculate the taxable 12% and VAT output tax, we can use this formula. So to compute our taxable 12%, all we have to do is to divide the total sales, divide natin siya sa 1.12. Ulitin ko po ha, to compute the taxable 12%, total sales, divide lang po natin siya sa 1.12. So example, yung total sales natin is 11,126.50 for June 1. Divide lang po natin siya sa 1.12. Ang answer po niyan is 9,934.38. So, that's the formula po. Lagi nating tandaan yan. At huwag tayong magkakamali. Ngayon, to compute naman the VAT output tax, yung result natin sa taxable 12%, ayan, yung 9,934.38, ita-times naman po natin ito sa 0.12. Okay? So, again, to compute the VAT output tax, yung ating taxable 12% result, ayan, the 9,934.38, ita-times naman po natin siya sa 0.12. So, ang results po niyan is 1,192.13. So, ganun lang po siya kasimple. Okay? Ayan. So, i-round off lang po natin yung second digit natin of cents in the calculation para automatic round off na po yung results niya. So, pwede natin siyang ma-verify kung correct ba yung ating computation by adding taxable 12% plus VAT output tax. Dapat ang results niyan is yung total sales natin or yung total invoice amount. Okay. So, for example, yung 9,934.38 natin na taxable 12% plus the 1,192.13 na VAT output tax equals 11,126.50. So, tama po siya. Okay? So, ganun lamang po kasimple sa pag-compute ng taxable 12% and yung VAT output tax po natin. So, number 3 is we should avoid mistakes in updating our BIR columnar book. Napaka-importante po nito. Bawal na bawal po talaga tayong magkamali sa BIR columnar book as much as possible. So, let us keep the BIR columnar book clean as BIR inspections are rigorous. So, kailangan po clean at saka understandable at maayos yung pagkakasulat natin sa ating columnar book. If a mistake is made, wag na wag po tayong gumamit ng correction tape, just like this one. This is a no-no po. Instead, we just need to cross out the error and write the correct amount either beside or above the mistake. So, ganito po yung dapat or yung correct na way. So, in this case, mali siya, dapat 14,252.68. So, kinross out niya lang, then nilagay niya sa taas yung correct amount. Same also with this one. Ayan. Take note that using correction tape po is considered tampering with sales declaration. So, kapag gumamit tayo ng correction tape, it's tampering. So, may mga penalty po yan from BIR. And please note also that using correction tape is strictly prohibited as it is checked by auditors and it's a common audit findings po. So, take note of that. Madalas po ito yung mga audit findings natin kasi nga gumagamit tayo ng correction tape. So, number 4 is yung proper maintenance or maintaining the columnar book. So, mga paalala lang, we should take good care of the columnar book. Bawal po itong ma-tear, ma-scratch, as it serves as a sales declaration po for BIR and can be used for several years until all pages are filled. So, habang hindi pa po nauubos yung pages ng columnar book natin, pwede pa po natin yung gamitin for several years. Kapag naubos na po yung ating BIR columnar book, we have to renew. Kailangan tayong magpatatak ng bagong columnar book natin sa BIR, kung saan po naka-registered yung ating tindahan. So, pag panibagong columnar book yung gagamitin natin kasi ubos na yung unang columnar book, we need to renew the permit or we need to renew or patatakan natin yung columnar book sa pinakamalapit po na Revenue District Office, kung saan yung ating store ay naka-registered. Okay? Kung hindi tayo sure or hindi tayo familiar, we have to coordinate with our supervisors for the necessary documents needed for renewal. So that's it. That's how we fill out our columnar book. Yan din yung mga process kung paano natin siya ayusin na i-safe keep at alagaan. At the same time, yung mga errors na hindi po natin pwedeng gawin for columnar book. So, ito yung sample natin kanina. So, this is pre-printed na columnar book. So, andito na yung date, andito yung invoice numbers, yung taxable 12% natin, our VAT output tax, and our total invoice amount or yung total sales natin for that invoices. So, andito siya. So, another example po is this one. So, for this sample, wala siyang pre-printed dun sa ibabaw. So, you have to encode talaga or jot down yung month, tapos yung date dito sa gilid. Ayan. Tapos yung OR number or yung invoice number dito. Ayan. Then, yung taxable 12%, VAT output tax, and then yung total invoice amount. Ayan. So, same pa rin naman na format. Ayan. So, that's it for our discussion for this module and this chapter. Ito na yung last topic natin for chapter number 2. So, to summarize our discussion, we had a training and orientation about SMS reporting. So, SMS reporting, natutunan po natin kung when to send SMS reports, kailan ba, tuwing kailan tayo nagsisend ng SMS reports, ano yung mga templates na kailangan nating sundin sa pagsisend ng mga SMS reports, and yung mga details na kailangan. Saan isi-send yung mga SMS reports, and paano natin mabe-verify kung accurate yung sinend natin na SMS report. And then, the second topic that we had is yung sales book and quota monitoring updating. Okay, so dito, we had a discussion naman about when to update our sales book and yung mga data and details na needed and how to compute to properly fill out our sales book or yung quota monitoring natin. And lastly, yung last topic po natin is yung BIR columnar book. So, we discussed also about the purpose of BIR columnar book, yung proper updating nito, yung mga formula to compute yung VAT output tax at yung taxable 12%, yan, yung mga tax calculations natin, how we can verify if tama yung computations natin, and yung proper way of correcting errors po sa ating columnar book. So, this is the end of our discussion for this chapter. Hopefully may mga natutunan kayo and hopefully sumunod po tayo dun sa tamang proseso ng pagsisend at pag-update po ng ating mga reports bilang isang team leaders and aspiring team leaders. Okay, so if you have questions or clarifications about the process, feel free to contact me or feel free to message me po. So before we end this topic or this module, I'll be leaving you this quote. So proper reporting ensures that problems are identified, solutions are found, and progress is tracked. So a fundamental process for achieving success in any endeavor. So ibig sabihin po niyan, yung proper reporting po natin ensures that nakikita natin agad kung ano yung mga problema. Ayan, na nakakahanap tayo ng agad-agad na solusyon and natatrack po natin yung ating progress. Kaya napaka-importante po talaga ng proper reporting at proper po na filing or updating ng ating mga reports. So that's the end of our chapter 2 discussion. So thank you everyone and see you for our next module.